There's something unsettling about someone who was once seen as perfect and then chose to destroy everything people believed about him. Not slowly, not by accident, but in one single night that erased an entire bloodline as if it never deserved to exist. No hesitation, no visible remorse, no explanation that made sense at the time. Just silence, and eyes that didn't look human anymore. The kind of eyes that don't just see you. They read you, break you, and trap you inside your own mind. People called him a prodigy long before that night, a genius who moved faster than anyone could follow, who understood things no one his age should. And that's exactly what makes it worse, because geniuses don't snap without a reason. They plan. At first, it looked simple. A betrayal. A cold-hearted execution carried out by someone who lost his humanity somewhere along the way. That's what everyone believed. That's what the story told. A gifted child who became a monster. But the more you look at it, the less it holds together. Because monsters don't hesitate in subtle ways. They don't leave behind small, almost invisible cracks in their actions. They don't spare one single person, especially not the one who would grow up hating them the most. That part never made sense. Why leave behind a witness? Why create someone whose entire existence would revolve around revenge? Unless that was the point. And then the questions start stacking up. Why did he accept being hunted? Why did he wear the role so perfectly, never defending himself, never correcting the story? Every move he made after that night only reinforced the image of a villain. Calm, distant, untouchable, he stood among criminals, but never quite like them. There was always something off, like he was there, but not truly part of it. Like his mission didn't end when everyone thought it did. And those eyes, they weren't just weapons. They were a warning. Every time someone faced them, they didn't just lose a fight, they lost themselves. Illusions so real they blurred the line between pain and reality, between seconds and eternity. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. The deeper you go, the more it feels like everything was calculated far in advance. Not just the massacre, but the aftermath, the hatred, the pursuit, the inevitable confrontation that would come years later. Almost like he was guiding someone, shaping them through trauma, forcing them to grow stronger, colder, more focused. That's not something a mindless villain does. That's strategy, long-term, ruthless, but precise. And it raises a disturbing possibility. What if the person everyone hated the most was the only one willing to carry a burden no one else could even understand? Because when the truth starts leaking through the cracks, it doesn't come as a clean revelation. It comes in fragments, hidden motives, orders that were never meant to be questioned, a system that needed a scapegoat to keep everything from collapsing. And someone had to step forward, someone strong enough to sacrifice not just their life, but their name, their legacy, their entire identity. Imagine choosing to be remembered as a traitor on purpose. Imagine knowing that the one person you care about most will grow up despising you and still deciding it's worth it. That's not weakness. That's something else entirely. And when the final pieces fall into place, it hits differently. Every action, every silence, every cruel decision starts to align into something terrifyingly logical. He didn't lose his humanity, he buried it, deep enough that no one could reach it, not even the person he was trying to protect. He became the villain so completely that the world would never suspect the truth. Because if they did, everything would break. The system, the peace, the fragile balance holding everything together. So he stayed silent, until the very end. And maybe that's the part that lingers the most. Not the power, not the fear, but the idea that sometimes the person you think is the darkest is the one carrying the most light, hidden where no one will ever look. Now think about it. You've definitely seen this character before. But do you actually recognize who he is? You knew him, didn't you?